listen more than we talk, we tend to get more done. To my sisters who might be sitting around listening to this radio show, I know it's not easy, but I don't take it personally. You can't. If you want to rise and grow and do what needs to be done on behalf of the people, then you have to find spaces of safety where you can talk to people, where you know you can let all that stuff out and then go back together and go do what you need to do.
And that's the hottest 60 seconds this week on The Source on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Halloween is sneaking up, so get ready to freak out on fun. This year, the Pennsylvania Lottery has a Halloween treat for you. It's the new $5 Make Me Witch Scratch-Off with top prizes of $100,000. The Make Me Witch Scratch-Off features a moon multiplier, giving you the chance to multiply any prize. Grab the new Scratch-Off today. It's here for a limited time only. The Pennsylvania Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Please play responsibly.
Hi, this is Council President Darrell Clark. Are you interested in purchasing a home in Philadelphia? The Turn the Key initiative may be able to help. Turn the Key is building 1,000 new affordable homes across the city for first-time home buyers to purchase. Most homes will have 3 bedrooms and a market value of up to $280,000. Turn the Key subsidizes these mortgages, bringing the cost to as low as $200,000 per participant. So to qualify, you must be a first-time home buyer, complete home ownership, counseling, and meet the program's income requirements. To find out more about the Turn the Key initiative, please visit www.phdcphila.org.
This WURD public service announcement is a reminder that every voice and every vote counts. We are committed to keeping you informed, and we encourage you to participate in the process.
I'm Tanya Pendleton, the host of Reality Check on WURD from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Wednesday. Why should you vote? Because you have a voice. If you're concerned about the things that I'm concerned about, crime in our community and affordable housing for everyone, then make sure you pull up for a seat at the table by voting. Vote in November and make your voice heard.
This PSA is a part of Every Voice, Every Vote, a collaborative project of the Lenfest Institute for Journalism, with lead support provided by the William Penn Foundation. Learn more at www.everyvoice-everyvote.org. Editorial content is created independently of the project's donors.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey.
I found a path that worked for me.
1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible. Visit cdc.gov/stopoverdose to learn more about the various paths to recovery.
Want to be heard on WURD?
Yes, this is Miss Renee King out of Philadelphia.
Dial 215-634-8065 to join the conversation. Outside of Philly, dial 1-866-361-0900. First-time caller? Great. We would love to hear from you. WURD is the voice of the African American community, so make yours heard. Please limit calls to once per day. Spread the word and tell a friend to tune in and join the conversation. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media, we're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L. O.
What's that?
Love.
What?
Love.
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So here we are, Wednesday, October 25th. Ooh, do you believe it? Can you believe it? I say it every day, don't I? Don't I? But I'm so grateful. I'm grateful. At the core of it all, I'm just grateful to be here. Happy birthday to you. If you are celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you. So family, as we get started, if you are on our socials, let us know. Let us know that you are out there by sharing a comment, and I will do my best to read it on the air. You can also give us a call, and you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can even call us toll free. And you can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900 if you'd like to share some love with us verbally. You know, Nick Steptoe, my illustrious producer, and I are always happy to have you join us, and we appreciate the love you share any way you share it. So for those of our family members whose hearts are heavy today, or if your light is shining just a little dimly, just know that I am sending you extra love and hugs on behalf of your tribe and your village, just to let you know that you are not alone. You are not alone. I'm also extending that love to the family and loved ones of the man considered the first Black action movie hero and former Shaft actor, Richard Roundtree, who died at the age of 81. Oh, family, I want to remind you of some things. Word Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming give back events in the Philadelphia area. If your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com/the harvest and look for the harvest banner. It's harvest time, and we're sharing information on those giving back to the community. The harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I also want to remind you that I want to remind all of you that we need your support. We need the support from our community. Our Forward and Up campaign has an unprecedented goal for Word Radio to recruit 2,000 members for the Forward movement. Now, you know, and I'm going to tell you anyway, I believe in Word. And because you are listening, I know that you do too. So if you are not already a member of the Forward movement, well, now is the time. Go to wordradio.com and click membership at the top of the page. Help us to reach our goal of 2,000 members in our 20th year of Black Talk Media. Well, family, you know, the hour goes by so quickly, and I don't want to waste your time, and I definitely want you to engage in this conversation with this amazing human being. Our first guest tonight, she is no stranger to the show or the station. She is our family member, and she has visited with us many times in the past, but it's been a while, so I'm excited to talk with her again. Her name is Dr. Ayo Maria Gooden. also known as Dr. Ayo Sanyika. She is a board certified African centered Black psychologist. She's the immediate former president of the Delaware Valley Association of Black Psychologists and is also an eye movement desensitization reprocessing certified therapist in full-time private practice in Westchester, PA. And she's here to talk with us tonight, and I'm so happy about it. So, family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Dr. Ayo Maria Gooden. Hello there, beautiful.
And my new phrase is sawubona, which is Zulu for I see you in your divinity.
Oh,
and certainly you are a divine entity, and we are all better for you being here and for the audience. And the response is, by the way, yebo sawubona, which means I see me in my divinity.
Yebo sawubona.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. Excellent. See, just rolled off your tongue so naturally.
It did. It felt good too. It felt good. It's so good to see you and to talk with you. It's been such a
wonderful to be
while.
back.
It has been it's been a good little minute, but you've been busy, and I'm happy to say that.
Yes.
Where has life taken you since we spoke last?
Well, it's taken me a lot of places. I've been to Belize and Jamaica. I'm getting ready to go back to Jamaica next week and getting myself re-energized, enjoying the sun. And in fact, one of the things that I've started doing with some of my clients is I'm providing a wellness prescription. That is a prescription for Blacks to go to the tropics, to get in that salt water, to pull out those toxins out of your body, and to absorb that vitamin D that we tend not to get because we're inside almost all the time now. So we've got to get out and get that energy and be surrounded by people who look like us and feel safe and warm and happy.
And we're inside working. That's the other part too. Oh,
Yes, inside all the time.
Yes, we are. Well, I gladly receive that wellness prescription. I receive it.
All right.
Liz, I'm telling you, I have in the past few months, well, the majority, in the past few months, I feel more comfortable saying that I have been doing a better job of wellness, of making sure that I'm maintaining a good self-care regimen.
Good.
I'm happy to say that, very happy to say that, because at one point in time in my life, I did not at all. So I'm happy about that. So thank you. So Dr. Gooden, you're here to talk with us tonight about something very, very, very important. Why it's important for individuals to consider the religion of their significant other prior to marriage.
Yes, that's an interesting topic because, of course, first of all, let me say that the more you have in common with someone, the closer you are to that person. So the more things that you have that come into conflict, the more challenges you will experience in your relationship. And so when I look at this topic of, love, intermarriage, interreligion, any of those things that make the relationship not more similar, it's going to create more stress. However, there's also a dynamic relationship between age, the older you are, and the younger you are in terms of whether or not religion will be a major issue or not. And of course, the real big issue is how religious are you? The more religious you are, the more important the religion of your partner will become to you. So it can interfere or it can be insignificant.
So in your opinion, would you say, and I'm thinking of the scenario where there's one individual who is very, very, very religious, and the other who is not, do you think there is a chance for a successful partnership?
There can be, of course. What
Okay.
really makes the difference is the personalities of those individuals. Because, for example, let's just use the example of someone being Muslim and someone not being Muslim. Generally speaking, people who are Muslim would prefer to have a partner who also, embraces Islam. And if you have children, which becomes the issue, which way will those children be trained? Will they be trained to become, part of Islam or part of no religion or a different religion? Let's say that the other person is, I don't know, they could be a Catholic. And there are different beliefs for each group. And when you have children, you will frequently have the grandparents pulling at which way those children should be trained.
Right.
Most people want their children to embrace their beliefs. So that's something that must be discussed before you partner with someone. What are your religious beliefs? And how strongly do you hold those beliefs? Do our children have to practice Islam or Christianity or whatever? And that will help to determine up front whether or not it's going to be a problem later, generally speaking. Although people do change and people do adopt religious beliefs within a marriage, and that can create a problem. When they got married, they didn't hold those particular religious beliefs.
Right.
And I've had a couple of interesting cases where one person was Jehovah's Witness, the other person wasn't, but they didn't start off that way. Neither one of them embraced religion initially, but then later in the marriage, much later, 10 years later, one partner embraced being a Jehovah's Witness. And it created a lot of conflict because the children now had to give up things like their birthday parties and wearing certain clothing. And so they couldn't celebrate certain holidays. And it created some conflict between the two. However, once the one partner did more research about her religious group, she learned that it wasn't for her after all. And she released the family from that hold, and she moved to a different level. And happy to say that the family, the husband and wife, stayed together, but that was going to be a source of the relationship dissolving.
Sure. Oh, that makes so much sense to me. As you were talking, I was thinking about two individuals that I know. One, she was in a relationship. She had begun seeing a guy, and they it had become serious, and they had not talked about having children up until they decided, okay, we're a couple. This is it. We want each other. And it was just one simple statement that he made. She was a Jehovah's Witness and he was not. And he said he did not want his children to be raised as witnesses. And I will never forget that, because she was really crushed, but it didn't work. They ended the relationship because that was a dividing factor.
Yes, it can be substantial enough to destroy a marriage or a relationship in general. And so generally speaking, I recommend the more you have in common, the better. If you're religious, pick somebody from the same religious background. Now, people will say, well, sometimes the heart wants what the heart wants.
Oh, my Lord.
And I say that may be true, but what usually will happen more often than not, especially when you're talking about Black people, out of the 30% of us over the age of 80 who get married, 42% get divorced.
42? I did not realize.
Horrible. We have the second highest divorce rate of any ethnic group. The first highest rate is among Indigenous people or Native Americans, okay?
Mhm.
And part of that has to do with the fact that there are so many other things that pull on a relationship. When you add the dynamic of religion, that's just one more stressor if you haven't worked it out prior to getting married that can break down your relationship. So it's important that you know where you are with your religious belief and you discuss that with your partner before you make a baby, before you say I do, before you get married. Okay.
How about that? So important. Family, if you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Io Gooden, and we are having a conversation about love and a few things under the umbrella of love. But it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. But the phone lines are open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. But stay with us because we will be right back.
I'm Tanya Pendleton, the host of Reality Check. It airs on WURD 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Wednesday. Join me at WURD's 20th anniversary celebration, November 10th, 6 p.m. at the Fiddler Club. You can buy your tickets at wordradio.com/20th anniversary, and you should, because I'll be there and I'm going to be enjoying myself along with everybody else in the WURD family. We've been surviving and thriving for 20 years, and we want you to come out and help us celebrate 20 years. That's right, 20 of progressive Black talk media.
WURD Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
Like anything else in life, technology has an expiration date. Smartphone hardware gets old and starts to break down, and software becomes harder to keep updated. After a while, not updating your device or your software can cause functional issues like slower speeds and crashing apps or websites, and security issues that can leave your technology open to hackers as well. But how do you know when it's finally time to make that upgrade? Head to endoflife.date to search for your device or software. Find out what latest version exists, if your version has been discontinued, and if there is still support for the gadget you own or the software you're currently using. While your devices and software should still work past their end-of-life date, check out endoflife.date so you won't be unprotected and you won't sacrifice productivity either. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Join Andrea Lawful Sanders for a citywide candidate forum on Thursday, October 26th at 6 p.m. focused on community issues in the run-up to November's mayoral election. WURD Radio is partnering with the Urban Affairs Coalition for this event taking place at Temple University's Leacourt Center, 1776 Broad Street. Voters will hear from Democratic nominee Sherelle Parker and Republican nominee David O. in their own 45-minute sessions. The forum will focus on a range of topics, including housing, city services and infrastructures, gun violence and crime, and the opioid crisis. Urban Affairs Coalition is conducting this forum as part of Every Voice, Every Vote, a collaboration of civic organizations and news outlets sponsored by the Linfest Institute for Journalism. Register to attend at uac.org/mayoral forum or watch live on wordradio.com or facebook.com/4word. Tune in on the WURD Radio app or 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
This is your celebration.
Greetings, I'm Brother Shamari. I wouldn't have a voice if it wasn't for WURD Radio, Black Talk Media in the city of Philadelphia. 20 years, y'all. Let's celebrate 20 years of a Black institution. Let's celebrate the Lomax family for bringing this wonderful institution to our people. And let's support it and work to make sure we have 200 more years of Black Talk Media.
Hi, my name is Jordan Brogan, CEO at Center for Families and Relationships. Just want to wish WURD Radio a happy 20th anniversary, and thank you so much for everything you do to support the community.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Io Gooden. And as I shared earlier, we're talking about love and everything under the umbrella of love. I want to acknowledge our family members who are joining the conversation. Raphael Suleiman. Hi there, brother Raphael. He sends a good evening to everybody. And April Clark. Hi, beautiful. She's sending a good evening as well. Hi there, cuz. That's my cousin. I didn't even realize. And Nicole P. She's sending love to the entire family. Thank you so much. We receive it. Beautiful love right back to you. Harry Wims is joining us. Good evening to you. He's sending love to the entire WURD family, and we receive that as well. And Badman K is watching from County 001. Well, welcome. Hello and welcome. And Brother Malcolm, he shares that he's watching and listening from West Mount Airy. Good evening to you as well, Brother Malcolm. You know I was looking for you. You know I was. Family, before we continue the conversation with Dr. Io, I want to go to our phone lines. One of our family members is waiting to join the conversation. Hello, and thank you for calling.
Hello, Cal.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Cal. Hi, Cal. Hi, Doctor. Let me get right to it. Cal, when you talk to the gentleman that does the health thing, that's not going to be with us anymore, when you talk to him, tell him I said, because, you know, you deal with health and food. Tell him Ryan said, bread of heaven. Feed him till he wants no more. And the mental bread of heaven, that will, what he's doing, will, that's the bread that we need. That's the bread of life. And it feeds the soul. It feeds all the, protect them from the negativity and all those things. I want to talk about health. And, you know, I take care of my health. And, Doctor, I'm 80 years of age. And what I did when I had I always had mental control over myself, my diets and all like that. And what I was doing, I made a recommendation to someone about Cal with I know she said about legs. And I made a recommendation for her to go to Atlantic City, maybe her and one of her cousins. And I wanted her to go down to the water. That's salt water. Get down by the salt water. Let the water come in from the ocean, cover herself in the sand, and where that salt water could penetrate and go through her legs, it would help her very, very much. And as far as it's all about your mental attitude plays a very big part in your health. Mental health all goes together, your diets, all those things, and your environment. And I always try to encourage doctors to meditate, take inventory. Everything is about you. A lady told me something one time, and she said something to me. And I said to her, she was a professional doctor, and I told her, I said, ma'am, what you are saying, I am that I am. Meaning that nobody can heal me or bring me comfort in the way that you're talking about, but me. The other thing is that in when your relationships, I don't want no relationship as far as a relationship. As far as I'm not insecure either. And at my age, what I have learned in my age, you cannot bring nobody up to your level. They have to, you and them must be 100. And that doesn't mean that because if you're not in tune with one another, you cannot make your husband your prisoner. You cannot make your wife your prisoner and all that. And I find for myself at 80 years of age, that what have been a comfort to me is my spirit and to be nice and to take them to go out and do those type of things. And I've found up until this point in my life, it is positive, doctor, that have really helped me a lot. And I know people think, I don't know what they think, but I always talk about Cal and my life with the children. I was a sad child, doctor, and it was people that what Cal did with those students that she came in contact with, doctor, they were sad. They were sad children. And what Cal did, they picked up that divine order in her. I had the same problem when I came up. And the lady raised me. She treated me with dignity. She talked to me all the time. I'm the unlearned man. And what she taught me, doctor, my belief in my faith and her love, her positive energy got this in order. Her kindness, her songs was my pacifier. And that's why I cry all the time. People hear me, a man my age. Nobody have never hit me in my jaw and made me cry, man. Have been kind people doing kind things for other people. I am a recipient of those people, especially the females that have treated me with love, and kind of my community was somewhat my friend. And because I was treated sad, and this woman came into my life, doctor, and she bypassed her breast, took me under her bosom, and sung the gospel hymns to me, man. And it made Mr. Ryan a better person. I took care of her, doctor. I became her health care taker. When she got sick, I took care of the person who walked to her body. Look how wonderful God is. Brought me to him. When she died, I went and watched them do the autopsy on her. I'm saying all these things. That's purpose in life. And I miss so. And when you say you go back, look at the mud people in Jamaica. Let's look at them Jamaicans. They came out of all that poverty over there, but they still praise the God like we all. Your mother, Carol, mother, auntie, and them praising God, coming out of their obstacle course of life. This is purpose in life. People hear your cry. Only God can heal with your help. He give you dominion over life. So I'm glad that you're talking. And remember, every time I say this, every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, I know why I believe. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ron, thank you so much. Thank you as always, for your input, for your positivity, for your transparency. Thank you so much, so much. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life. And we're talking with Dr. Ayo Gooden. And we started the conversation talking about the importance of an individual to consider the religion of their significant other prior to marriage. But Dr. Gooden, I want to pivot for just a moment because we have some family members who may be new to the conversations you and I have, and I want them to know all there is to know about you. I would love for you, if you don't mind, to share a little with us about Black Love Partners.
Yes, I'm the co-founder of Black Love Partners. Something that evolved from my private practice was that I noticed that there's a pattern of Black people not having the proper information to be ready for a relationship. Because after all, where do we learn about relationships? We learn from either our parents in our home or on television. And there are some very poor examples on television about relationships. So I work with a young man who is single, and together we created a tax-exempt organization, Black Love Partners, designed to help people access information to help enhance their relationships. It's linked to my book on relationships and to my obviously private practice and my over 50 years of experience doing therapy with people. So Black Love Partners is designed to help people find their ideal love partners, to prepare themselves to be ready for those relationships, looking at what things we need to change about ourselves, what things do we need to seek in a partner that would make that partner ideal for us. And what are the things we need to look out for? Because I frequently find people seeing some good things, and because they see some good things, they ignore the bad things. And we can't do that. That's why the divorce rate is high. We're not making good decisions. But the other problem is that there aren't many places for Black singles to get together and get to know people in a safe and comfortable environment. So we're creating some environments which should start being publicized with the beginning of the new year. I would like it to be before then, but I'm going to be safe and say starting in 2024. That is what we need. Safe places where we can come together, talk, and find out who people are. You can't do that at a bar. You can't do much of it in church. You can't do it just at somebody's house because that's a small population. So we need to increase it. And that's what Black Love Partners is doing. And you can see us on YouTube. Look up Black Love Partners and check us out and subscribe. Definitely.
I said I could not have a conversation with Dr. Gooden and not talk about Black Love Partners, specifically because I went to the website, I signed up, and I so appreciate the information that you share there, and I love the presentation of it as well. And like you were saying, well, I don't know of a lot of places for us to meet, to visit, to, everything is pretty much digital nowadays.
Yes.
And I'm an in-person type of gal.
Right. And it's best to do in person, but we're also coming out with a course that should be out soon where people can pick and choose what course information they want, like on listening skills or communication or transparency, things that should be critical parts of a relationship that most of us haven't been taught how to do. And so we're providing coursework for people so that we can develop the skills we need.
I love that. I'm going to tell you, I know I need some help. I know I do. You family, you all have heard me. Those of you, who spend enough time with me, Malcolm, don't you throw me under the bus. But you all know how transparent I am. And I talk about, my own life and shenanigans and all of that good stuff. But I thought it a good idea for you, Dr. Gooden, to talk about Black Love Partners, especially since we're talking about, something specific right here. And I wanted to expand the conversation, but I'm curious to know. Oh, no, thank you. Thank you. I am curious to know with your years of experience that you have, what are some of the more common challenges you've encountered with couples with whom you've had therapy?
Well, the biggest issue, and certainly surveys have documented that the biggest issue is that people don't have enough in common. That's the first thing. Good sex is usually the second thing that people say is the most important part of having a successful relationship. So that means that before you get married, you need to find out about sexual preferences, sexual interests, sexual fantasies, because, I've had clients who have fallen out because one partner wants to do some things that the other partner totally disagrees with, but it wasn't discussed before they got married. And so it's important to discuss sex before you get married and your fantasies about it. The other thing would be, you want to definitely share your chores in the household. A lot of especially females who I work with, complain that they work, their partner works, but their partner expects them to come home, cook, clean, take care of the babies, and be ready for sex at the end of the evening when they're ready to drop. Okay? So part of what I have worked with the brothers with is they have to share the workload at home too. If the woman is out working and you're out working, when you come home, you must share those chores. That means reading to the children, giving the children a bath, changing diapers. All of that are things that males must be willing to do. Okay, that's a major issue. Now, in addition to that, there is, I think when you're talking about the cleanup, the taking care of them, the issue of children is an issue. There are people who have not discussed children with their partners. And I had one particular client who I think about who wanted children from the beginning. Her partner said, oh, yes, he was going to be interested in having children. They got married. 5 years went by. He had all sorts of reasons he couldn't. And he had to go to school. She took care of him. and helped him get through school. He got his degree. Then after he got that degree, she's ready. Now, can we have a baby? Nope. He needed another degree and another activity. She finally realized after 10 years of being married to him that if she didn't have a baby, she wouldn't be able to have a baby.
Right.
So children is an issue, whether it's about religious beliefs, discipline. One parent believes in physical discipline, the other one does not. That's going to be a problem. Discuss it before you have babies, not afterwards, because, I hear this all the time that I made a bad decision. And let me say, I'm not just talking about other people. I've had my challenges in relationships. I frequently tell people.
No, wait, I want to stop you right there. Wait. I want to stop you right there because we have to go to commercial break, but I want to hear everything. You hear me? I don't want to miss anything. Family, stay with us because we are coming right back.
And now,
in the midst of challenging times, our Black spaces, our voices, and our stories are under attack. Our goal? To reach 2,000 members by the end of the year. We need your support now more than ever. WURD Radio has been your trusted source for Black talk media for 20 years, and we want to continue making history for another 20. This is urgent, and the time to act is now. Help us move forward and up to reach our goal. Visit WURDradio.com and join the movement. Let's stand together. Let's make a difference. Go to WURDradio.com and become a member today.
Tune into WURD Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
I'm Carol Riddick, the host of Love and Life. And guess what, family? I will be live. That's right. I can speak with you about the real facts and honest opinions on dating, sexual health, casual and committed relationships. Join me Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The conversations will be served on a judgment-free platter and seasoned with unapologetic realness. So join me Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and here's some information from the Centers for Disease Control on breast cancer in men. Did you know that 1 out of every 100 breast cancer diagnoses in the United States is found in a man? Fellas, here's some things you need to know. The warning signs to look out for are a lump or swelling, redness or flaky skin, irritation or dimpling of the breast skin, pulling in or discharge, or any pain in the nipple area. It is important to note that these symptoms can occur for reasons other than cancer. That's why it's important to schedule an appointment and share these symptoms with your doctor. Now, the risk factors for breast cancer in men are similar to the risk factors for women, including genetic mutations, getting older, family history of breast cancer, overweight and obesity, and liver disease. Cirrhosis of the liver can lower androgen levels and raise estrogen levels, increasing the risk for breast cancer. So this October, be proactive. Visit your doctor and tune into WURD Radio for more information on breast health. This breast cancer awareness vignette was brought to you by Keystone First.
what is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick. We are talking with Dr. Gooden. And before the break, I did what I did not want to do. I had to interrupt Dr. Gooden as she was about to tell us a story. I'm so terribly sorry, Dr. Gooden, but please do continue.
I'm doing what we call disclosing some information to our family here. A lot of people think that because I have a PhD, I've been working for over 50 years in the field of psychology, that I must be perfect. And I'm not. In fact, my book that I wrote about relationships was the result of me getting a divorce from my husband. Now, I'm very unique because I've been divorced 3 times and married 4 times. 3 times married to the same man. Okay. Or 2 times to the same man. And I'm with him now. My first husband is now my permanent long-term husband as well. But one of the things that I believe is that if somebody's not happy, my opinion is I'm not holding on to him because I want to be happy too. And if somebody is not happy, you can't make them happy. They have to want to be happy on their own and be willing to do what they need to do to be happy. And so I divorced my husband, then we remarried, but he still wasn't happy. So I divorced him again, and we both remarried somebody else. And then we both divorced that somebody else, and we remarried, and we've been together this last time for over 20 years, close to 30 years now. But the point is that if you're meant for each other, it may work out. But if you're not meant for each other, let it go. Don't hold on to something that's bad. Please don't do that, because we all deserve to be happy. We deserve to be treated with respect. And if somebody doesn't love you, that's their prerogative. They don't have to love you. They don't have to want to be with you. Or, as in my husband's case, he wanted to be with me. But we have this societal belief that men should have multiple relationships and shouldn't be married at a certain age because they need to have fun and blah, blah, blah. But I would like to suggest 2 things. One, I'm going to jump out of this topic into having a commitment is critical. And, you know, this is the anniversary, the 20th anniversary for WURD, and everybody who spends money on Phillies and all those other sports or athletic teams should be giving at least as much money to WURD, because WURD does something for you. Those sports teams don't do anything for you, but you enjoy them. So if you can give money to somebody who does nothing for you, then you should be able to give money for an organization such as WURD, who cares about you and brings you things to help make your life better. We have to change our priorities. We have to look at being committed to each other. So I just had to say that. I am a member, by the way.
No, I can't thank you enough for that. I want to take a moment because I just realized one of our family members has been waiting to join the conversation. Hello, and thank you for calling.
Thanks very much, and good evening to both of you.
Good evening.
Good
You
evening.
know, about love. I also find that respect is very important to me. I was the one stabbed by a woman. She was my first son's mother, and if she respected me, she would have stabbed me. But because she was obsessed with me, so that was a bit of a player at the time. Another point is, when people use the term evenly yoked, or you're not evenly yoked, it kind of reminded me when you were talking about maybe Jehovah's Witness and a person outside the fellowship. That's not allowed. And you know, but if me and my significant other, was the first night we met, we felt in spirit. I mean, we were spiritually yoked. We hadn't even talked about religion yet, and off and on we're still together today. So I would like you to comment on that. And could you please remind me of the 5 kinds of love? I know one of them is agape, and I know one of them is unconditional love. But all my love has conditions. You do me, I do you. And thank you for promoting WURD Radio. And I'll just listen. Thank you.
Absolutely. What an amazing story. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
You know, I usually tell people if they're having those kinds of difficulties in their relationship. The one thing I discourage totally is ever becoming physically violent or aggressive. That is totally unacceptable. But obviously it worked out for you. That's a blessing. But it's a bad behavior that can also be translated down to what our children learn, to engage in these very hostile and aggressive behaviors, which we don't want them to do, because that could, one, if it had been reported, she could have gone to prison for aggravated assault. But there are all sorts of problems with fighting over things. And I understand that she was upset because of infidelity or, being jealous, whatever. But I say that's when you need to talk to each other and you ask the question, what do you want from this relationship? And if that person does not want you, don't fight over that person. There are plenty of men out here. Go get yourself a man who loves you for who you are. And just bless that other woman and him with her, because obviously they must be right for each other. And he's not right for you. But in your case, you two evidently worked it out. And sometimes people do. They stay with people who they've had those kind of aggravated kind of interactions with. But I am totally impressed with the fact that you've been able to stay together, and hopefully that means there's no more violence. I hope, because I do know that people stay together and beat each other up, fight, shoot, stab each other, and they think that's love, and it's not. Love is not violent. But I say that to parents, and I know parents disagree with me, some do. But if you're beating your child, that's not an indication of love. I personally would not want anyone to ever hit me. I feel that if you love me, then we can talk anything out. And if you have to hit me, that's an indication that you lack the skills to communicate effectively with me. And I wouldn't want to be with you, but that would be my choice. So I'm glad it worked out for you. I'm sorry to hear that, there was a conflict that caused that kind of pain. But I would like to suggest to people that I find a lot of females in particular, but males get abused in relationships too. We usually think it's only females who get abused by males, but I would like to say I'm married to a wonderful Black man, and I think Black men are awesome. My father was Black, and the reality is none of us are perfect, but we can all strive to be perfect by listening. I also say, if you can't work it out in the relationship, go get professional therapy from somebody from your cultural background. I do not recommend someone who's not from your cultural background, because there are too many nuances. There are too many things about being Black for Black people that we need to know in therapy. And I've seen too many people have more problems as a result of going to the wrong kind of therapist. All therapists are not created equal. Sorry to say. But get professional help. And if it doesn't work, it's kind of like when you go to a store. You're allowed to shop. If you go into a store and you don't see what you want, you go somewhere else. Same thing with the therapist. Just because they say they're Dr. Gooden doesn't mean Dr. Gooden is right for you. I may be totally wrong for you, but Dr. Riddick may be just what you needed. So you go to Dr. Riddick instead. So we have to learn, because we are the most oppressed people on the planet. So we are the most traumatized people on the planet, and we tend to pass our pain on to other people instead of healing and not passing that pain on.
Oh, I have a question to that comment right there, but it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. Family, listen, I see that some family members of ours are commenting on our socials. I am going to go to our socials. When we come back, I'm going to read your comments. Know that the phone lines are still open as well, but whatever you do, stay with us, family, because we're coming right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on Reality Check.
You wanted to shout out a very special athlete, so I'm going to go ahead and let you do that.
Simone Biles. People have to understand that when this next century happens, she will be called one of the best athletes, or should be considered as one of the top athletes of all time, regardless of sport. She's doing incredible things, with her 7th, world championship medal. She is a ridiculous athlete, a great soul model for women and young kids as they try to, capitalize on their talent. Her being adopted, her and her sister, were gymnasts early on. She's inspired by her sister as well. They're very close. This is a great thing. I hope people are paying attention to the greatness of Simone Biles. Let a legend be legendary.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Reality Check on WURD Progressive Black Talk Media.
Are you ready to party?
The party is about to be on. Join us Friday, November 10th for WURD Radio's 20th anniversary celebration, an evening of Black excellence and elegance at the beautiful Fiddler Club in downtown Philadelphia. A cocktail reception gets us started at 6 p.m. Grab a bite, share a toast, or hang out with your favorite WURD host. And in recognition of this milestone birthday, we're bringing together the owners of the nation's 3 remaining Black Talk radio stations, Melody Span Cooper of WVON Chicago, Tavis Smiley of KBLA Los Angeles, and WURD's own CEO Sarah Lomax, exploring the future of Black independent-owned media. We'll have a special live performance with dynamic songstress Carol Riddick, and the house will be rocking with legendary DJ Gary O, spinning music from old school to today. To get your tickets, visit wordradio.com/20th anniversary. And remember, membership has its privileges. 4 WURD members can still continue to purchase tickets at a discounted rate. Your membership will be verified after purchase. Our 20th anniversary celebration is brought to you by Comcast, Bank of America, United Way, Keystone First, Wells Fargo, United Healthcare, and Mainline Health.
We gon' celebrate and have a good time.
This WURD public service announcement is a reminder that every voice and every vote counts. We are committed to keeping you informed, and we encourage you to participate in the process.
In my formative years, my family gathered around the table for evening dinner, and there were few excused absences. The discussions were topical and sometimes frightening to a child in my tender years. Dogs were released on children who were marching in the South for the right of their parents to vote. Later, we gathered around the black and white television and listened to Fannie Lou Hamer at the 1964 Democratic Convention tell the world about Mississippians' right and fight to vote. I saw the tears in my parents' eyes as Miss Hamer described the beating she endured and that of others that were with her for the right to vote. I walked door to door with my mother as she urged our neighbors and community members to register to vote and to march in solidarity with our brothers and sisters struggling for their rights in America's South. Today, like Fannie Lou Hamer, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Vote like your life depends on it, because it actually does.
This PSA is a part of Every Voice, Every Vote, a collaborative project of the Lenfest Institute for Journalism, with lead support provided by the William Penn Foundation. Learn more at www.everyvoice-everyvote.org. Editorial content is created independently of the project's donors. Here's what you missed on Wake Up with WURD.
Joining us now is Council President Darrell Clark. There is a new program. It's called Turn the Key, and it's about building 1,000 affordable homes through that neighborhood preservation initiative. Tell us about it.
We wanted to make sure that we created affordable home ownership in the city of Philadelphia like we used to do when we got a lot of money from the federal government. So as a result of this $400 million neighborhood preservation initiative, we borrowed this money, and a significant portion of that will go to help subsidize purchases of homes across the city of Philadelphia. And we're telling people, you get engaged, you will have to go through a early process in terms of screening and how homing housing preparation. But at the end of the day, Solomon, you'll be able to walk into a brand new home at around $200,000.
Tune in to Wake Up with Word with Solomon Jones every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia, celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk media. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Ayo Gooden. And I don't know about you, but I am enjoying this conversation. I do want to share that our family members are checking in. Miss Lily, hi, beautiful. She's sending love to everyone. And Nasir, brother Nasir, I was wondering where you were. He's sending peace and blessings to everyone. And he shares, well said, Dr. Ayo. I gave because Sister Carol gives us a great 2 hours, Monday through Thursday. Thank you. Nasir, you know I love you, right? You know I do. You know I do. And hello to my cousin, June. Hey, cuz. She's sending a good evening to everybody. Eric is joining us too. And he says, hello, Carol and Dr. Gooden. Eric here. Good evening. I love the honesty and candor you have. Keep it real or keep it moving. If it's broken, you can't always fix it. Listen and learn and love yourself first. I love it. That is Juan Cradle is joining us as well, and he's sending greetings to everybody and blessings to everybody as well. The beautiful Miss Julie Audrey Ward Carnegie is joining us as well, and she's sending greetings to each and every one of us, and she says she's grateful for the enrichment of our lives with knowledgeable professionals. Thank you, Miss Julie. God bless you all, family. I love y'all. I hope y'all know that. She also shares, hopefully, these hours are a good segue, giving us the opportunity to engage in topics and share our thoughts with others. I enjoy that. And our beloved Roxy Fab is checking in, and you're going to hear from her a little later in this hour because we got a little treat for y'all in this hour. But she's sending some love. You know I love you, girl. You know I do. I want to take a moment to go to our phone lines, and then I'm going to ask you the question that I have for you, Dr. Gooden, if that's okay. I don't want to hold you hostage, but
all right.
Okay. Thank you so much. I know. Thank you so much for calling.
Hello.
Hi there. Hello. And thank you so much for calling.
Yes. Dr. Gooden, did you teach at Lincoln University in the early 2000s?
At where?
Lincoln University.
Yes, I'm a Lincoln alum, and I taught there.
I knew that was you. I'm Corey Floyd from class of 2007.
Oh, greetings, Hotep. Congratulations, and thank you for letting me know you're out there listening.
Of course. It has been a absolute pleasure just to hear your voice again.
Thank you.
Even sometimes just coming by the office, you would somehow give us a 5-minute lecture on a small slither of what we would come to learn as a piece of life.
I love it.
I do recall that a lot of my students thought I was a little crazy too.
That's because we didn't know what was going on around the corner.
I know. But yes, there's a lot to learn, and a lot has been hidden from us. So I'm glad to hear that eyes are being opened. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to hit up the guys like Iran and whatnot.
Yes, you're on. Okay.
I love that. Corey, I can't thank you enough for calling and expressing love for Dr. Gooden because I just love her to pieces.
Thank you.
And so thank you so much. Dr. Gooden, the one question I have before we let you go is what would your suggestion be? How do you suggest we as Black people, as the Black man and the Black woman, begin to connect with one another? Since we talk about the oppression that we suffer for so long, how do you suggest that we begin? Where do we begin?
That's a very good question. And I believe it always starts with you. It starts within yourself. Being courageous enough, and it takes courage, don't get me wrong, it takes a great deal of courage to get therapy, to address some of the pain, the hurts, the traumas that you've experienced from childhood through adulthood and continue to experience. As long as you're breathing in this racist world, you're going to be confronted with a lot of traumatic encounters. So the first step is knowing that you need to enhance your very being. And when you do that, reading, traveling, but traveling with a purpose. Like I mentioned, you asked me what I was doing. I went to Belize. I went there to climb the pyramids. I went to Mexico to climb the pyramids built by Black people that we haven't been taught about. So we have to believe in ourselves. We have to also identify ourselves as Black people and embrace our Blackness and not run away from it. And we have to stop allowing the divide and conquer strategies, colorism, texturism, featureism. All of that stuff has to stop. We cannot do it. And the brothers need to complement the sisters who are doing the natural thing, like beautiful sisters such as yourself. And Black men aren't doing that enough. And sisters have to stop trying to look like Barbie because we're not Barbie. And we shouldn't want to be Barbie because we're beautiful queens and princesses and brilliant people who come in all colors, but we are beautiful as we are. So we have to first heal ourselves. Know thyself, heal thyself, then look for a partner. Because if you come with your sickness, you're just going to spread your sickness to someone else.
Right.
Simple as that.
Oh, Dr. Gooden, I cannot thank you enough for coming to share your time with us and your energy, your attention, your spirit, and your knowledge. I tell you all the time how I just appreciate you more than words can express, and I enjoy our conversations. And I do hope you will come back to visit with us sooner as opposed to later.
Absolutely. And I want to say thank you for inviting me again and tell you that I enjoy being here and that you're a healing energy for me. And I appreciate that and need it. A lot of people don't think psychologists need help, but we do. We need support, and we love the nurturing and the love that you give out is very healing. And I want to thank you for that. And to the family who also gives you support and gives you strength. And I want to thank all of our listeners, our family members who participate, because that's what it takes. We've got to be willing to learn and not always focus on playing.
Not a truer word has been said. Oh, God bless you, Dr. Gooden, and thank you. And we hope to see you, like I said, sooner as opposed to later.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll
Hotep,
see you next
everyone.
time.
Peace and
Hotep.
blessings.
Family, OMG. I so enjoyed that conversation, and I hope that you did too. We have another amazing guest this evening. Just so much has been going on today by itself. But I was so ready for that conversation. I love Dr. Gooden. I just love her energy. What I want to do, we have a guest coming up. She's going to join us in a few moments. But before she does, family, we have a treat for you, as I was sharing. For those of you who are unaware, Brownstone and Raheem Devon will perform this Friday, October 27th at the Keswick Theater. And our very own, our beloved Roxy Fab was able to talk with Raheem Devon as he shared with her about his current tour and the upcoming show. And we have the audio of that interview, and we're going to play that for you right now, aren't we, Nick? I should have asked Nick sooner because Nick didn't know. I'm just pulling out. I'm just calling audibles, family, calling audibles. But Nick, are we ready to play that audio? I should have asked you.
Yes, it's ready to go.
All right. Well, then let's take a listen, family.
Hey, you're listening to WURD Radio, Progressive Black Talk Media. I'm Roxy Fab, and we're having an opportunity, and he's in the studio. He's in the studio. We love that, right? And I'm talking to three-time Grammy-nominated R&B recording artist Raheem Devon. Hey, Raheem, how are you?
How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm good. I'm good. Look, we're excited. We are so excited. So I know that you're currently touring across the country, the Fall in Love tour. So I wanted to know, how's that going?
It's going well. The seasons changed, so we just kind of flipped the name of the tour, and I'm actually working on a remix pack for the fall season, the follow up to the Summer of Love, which is pretty much done. I think we go to mastering. I feel like we go to mastering next week, and then pretty much after that, I can just service it out to the people.
Okay, yeah. Now, what's that going to be called?
I Fall in Love.
All in Love. I love it. I love it. Okay, I get it. I get it now. I'm comprehending.
Cool.
I'm getting it. So yeah, so the latest album, The Summer of Love. First, we love the record. I know I love the record. I love all of them, but Happy Summertime and This Is Love, Ooh Wee, and my favorite is Heartstrings.
Yeah.
And I know that you wrote and produced those as well, if I'm correct. So what if I can ask you, what most artists base things on their own life? Did you base this record on some experiences of yours?
I mean, everything is either from a personal space or vicarious space. As a creative, I'm inspired to write songs from different situations, movies I see, books I read, just conversations, situations. So yeah, I mean, I'm at the end of the day, I think it's how well and convincingly you execute the record in the studio as well as like performing live and figure out a way to engage with the audience and with people, where it becomes like the art of storytelling in some forms of fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun, writing the record. Ooey was a record that was actually co-written by one of the in-house writers, Ray, and the album was actually produced, mixed and mastered by my longtime engineer and friend, Face Jamil Jackson, who started out just kind of like doing studio sessions with me almost 20 years ago. He's graduated to producing and just all the things. So it makes it a lot easier to work with somebody who has been around me for so many years and kind of knows what my ear like, knows what I like.
Yeah.
What's gonna sound good to the ear, and so we have like many other producers in my circle. It's a great marriage, on track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's recorded, when we lay it down.
Yeah, and you need that because that definitely comes out on the record. You know what I mean? When it's a good vibe and it's a good relationship, like you said, it definitely comes out, and we can feel that when we listen to it, that it meshed well together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now I hear my song in the background. I hear my song Customer in the background. Now with that, I love the creativity of that song. Being a customer and supersize and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Since I hear it in the background, I definitely want to know a little bit about that. What inspired you to write that song? What inspired you to do that?
That record was produced by Carvin and Ivan, and I co-wrote on that record.
Oh, our Philly friends, Carvin and Ivan. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Typewriter as well.
Yes.
And I co-wrote that record. Was originally part of a writing session that we would do. We had worked on some other stuff potentially for my album. I want to say maybe I recorded Mr. Right that day,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. And then, that record was played, and again, it was some co-writing sessions that were happening, and immediately when I heard the record, I wanted the record. I knew it was going to be my record, so I persuaded them to allow me to record it that night. We were recording anyway, and I walked away from it in my mind with like, this is my record. And it's going to be a huge record for me.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, as you could say, is history.
Is history. I still rock that song in my car. Like, that is my song. So I love that song. So we're excited about this Friday. Laugh Out Loud production is bringing you to the Keswick Theater along with Brownstone. Are you ready for Philly?
Oh, for sure. I stay ready.
Hey.
Stay ready and got to get ready,
There you go. So what can we expect? So we're going to, you're going to take it back for us a little bit. What can we expect from you
It's
on
going to
Friday?
be energy, you know what I'm saying? Energy, we definitely doing the hits and taking people down memory lane and a party and great vibe, you know what I mean? Like, it's always about the vibe with me, so, I'm just coming to bring a good vibe. I firmly feel like, people come out to be entertained. They want to be entertained. So that's the focal point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're excited. I'm excited to have you and hear some of the latest record, and maybe you might slide something that's new coming out for this fall love, and and definitely excited to go back with you and relive Customer and some of those other songs that we that made us fall in love with what you do and made us fall in love with your voice.
Yeah, I can't. I'm excited about the Fall in Love EP, which I said is it's coming soon to be announced. I finally remade one of my favorite tunes by the Ozzy Brothers. Let's Fall in Love, and that'll be on that project.
Okay. Yes, we got some things to look forward to. Yes. So, Raheem, thank you so much. I know you're in the middle of a rehearsal, so we're excited. Again, we're going to see you this Friday along with Brownstone live at the Keswick Theater, which is 291 North Keswick Avenue in Glenside, PA, at 7 p.m. And is there anything else you want to sneakily let us know real quick before you go?
Oh man, just come out, have a good time. Check out that new record, your favorite thing to do. Featuring myself by Terry Hunter, DJ Terry Hunter, Grammy Award winning Terry Hunter out of Chicago. That's definitely is one of my favorite tunes. Not sure if I'll be performing it just yet, but we're working out the details, getting the files and the stems and all the things needed to execute that. But I'm looking forward to definitely seeing how people respond to that song, performing it live.
All right. Well, Raheem, again, thank you so much. I'm gonna let you get back to rehearsal.
Okay.
And we're excited to see you this Friday.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Once again, this is WURD Radio. I'm Roxy Fab, and Laugh Out Loud presents Raheem Devon and Brownstone live at the Keswick Theater, 291 Keswick Avenue in Glenside, PA, this Friday at 7 p.m. To get tickets, call 215-870-5564 or go to the website at keswicktheater.com. I hope to see you this Friday.
Oh, well, family, what'd you think about that? Wasn't that exciting? See, I told you we got all kinds of treats here. We have all kinds of goodies here. As I was telling you, we have another exciting guest for you in just a few moments. And I'm anxious to talk with her. I'm anxious for you all to meet her and to hear about all the wonderful things that she is doing and has been doing. And like I said, so much has been going on today, family. Heavens to Murgatroyd just doesn't cover it all. It just doesn't cover it all. But before we go to commercial break, I want to say once again, thank you so much to our beloved Roxy Fab for that awesome interview with Raheem Devon. Isn't that awesome? And as you heard that he and Brownstone will be at the Keswick Theater this Friday, October 27th at 7 p.m. And they asked me to let everybody know the doors open at 6 p.m. Family, as I've shared with you, Our phone lines are still open. If you want to call us and share some love, feel free to do so by dialing 215 634 8065, or you can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1 866 361 0900. I do want to say that Miss Julie shares love for Roxy for bringing Raheem to this segue. She enjoyed it. She enjoyed it so, so much. And Roxy, I'm so glad that you stopped by tonight because we get to love on you in real time. Okay. Family, stay with us. Okay. Because we're going to commercial break, but we will be right back. Look at that. We're having all kinds of problems. Did I not tell you that the devil was trying to get into the details? Did I not tell you that? Because, he tried to visit with us a few weeks ago, and here he is trying to come back again tonight. But he's not welcome, right? You do know that he's not welcome, and you do know that he will be rebuked at all costs. How about that? So, what we're going to do, because we're having a technical issue at the station, we're going to continue right here and we're going to talk with our next guest because I want you to meet her. Our next guest straddles both local worlds and global worlds. I said that incorrectly, but it's all right. She straddles the worlds both locally and globally. How about that? Born in Palestine, she grew up in Philadelphia, and since 2022, is the Pennsylvania Senate's only Arab staffer. She's quoted as saying, "I bring a unique perspective representing people that look like me and have been raised like me in the immigrant community." I'm anxious to talk with her tonight because she has done so much and she is doing so much. And I want you to hear all about what she's doing. Y'all know how much I love our babies, and I love, love, love that she too is an advocate for our babies. So without further ado, family, I invite you to the conversation with Jude Hussein. Hello there, beautiful. How are you? Uh-oh. Well, there we are. Okay, I thought can you hear me well, Jude? Can you hear me well?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
No, thank you, family. When I tell you that there was so much, so much, so much taking place, just know that there has been. Today has been a day, and Jude just saved the day. I'll tell you that. She saved the day. But I'm so glad that you were able to join us this evening because when I was reading the information that was sent to me about you, I said, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk with her. I just can't wait to talk with you. So, first, I want to ask you I was reading about the Palestinian American Solidarity Day that you created.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jumping all over the place, but I know we don't have you for much time. So I want to jump right in if you don't mind. But I'm curious to know, number one, how you were able to make it come to fruition, and number two, the impact. Can you tell us about the impact that it has had?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And I'm so happy to be on with you. Best part of my day. But in terms of the Palestine Philadelphia American Solidarity Day, it was, I mean, close to 2 years of trying to make it happen and a little over that. And there was quite a bit of a process to hold it to begin with. And so we worked through that with such great community organizers and convening organizers, specifically Palestinian Philadelphians, because there's such a great
Mm.
Palestinian community in the city of Philadelphia and also an Arab community. So we banded together. We really worked side by side with the city and really tried to advocate to recognize the Palestinian community that dates back to the 1800s here in the city of Philadelphia, and to really highlight the social, economic, cultural contributions that Palestinian Philadelphians have made for years, decades and decades. And so
Mhm.
that was really the purpose, is to highlight the rich Palestinian community that resides in the city of Philadelphia. And so the impact is extraordinary, to showcase that, you know, Palestinian Philadelphians are academics, they're scholars, they're poets, they're musicians, they're
Mhm.
comedians, and they contribute such rich culture to the city. It was really breathtaking to see such a community come together that's usually forgotten about.
Mm, I can't imagine. And just listening to you talk about just how much went into making it come to fruition, I can only imagine just how much it means and just how much it meant when the actual event took place. I mean, it had to
Mhm.
have been so emotional. It just had to, you just had to have had so many emotions. You know, there just had to have been an experience of so many emotions on that day.
I had people come up to me crying and in tears that, you know, the community was finally being seen for such contributions. And we usually do a lot of our work, whether it doesn't matter the sector, with such selflessness. And so the ability to highlight a community that's really, I would go as far as saying, put on the back burner,
Mhm.
and really forgotten about. And so it was very nice to have him to really just showcase that rich culture in the city.
Mm, mm. So I'm curious to know what challenges did you face as a female, as a woman immigrant growing up in Philadelphia? And well, I guess this is a twofold question. And how did you see these experiences shape your career in public service?
Some of the challenges that saw growing up in the city of Philadelphia as a woman, as an immigrant, as a person of color, as a Muslim, a person of faith, um, you don't really know the challenges when you're knee deep in them, right? Because it becomes your
Mhm.
norm. And so I think I really recognized some of the challenges as I got into more of my professional career. But seeing that maybe there wasn't people that looked like me that I could really look to as an Arab, as a woman, as a person of color, even women of color, it's very new to see them on a stage. There's many of
Mhm.
them now. I think we still have a lot more work, but I think representation was a lot of that challenge, right? And people always saying, maybe if you hit this mile marker, this is good enough, right? And so
Mhm.
as a young person, you're just like, okay, like if I got it, I'll be grateful. And so that mindset of, if I just get this, I should be super grateful. If I just
Right.
get this, I should be super thankful. And so I saw that was a challenge when I got into more of a professional setting. Because as a community organizer, when you're organizing with people of color,
Mhm.
with different backgrounds and different faith backgrounds, that's your community. Doesn't matter how you identify. You're people of color. You stand side by side, whether you're
Mhm.
Black, brown, API, however you identify, you're really in it together, because
Mhm.
um, historically, we've been marginalized for quite some time and continue to be so. Like, these are challenges that still exist to this day. And so when you're
So
a
true.
community organizer, you're just so knee deep. And so those are some of the challenges I saw growing up and stepping into more of a professional setting.
Mm. listening, could not have said a more truer thing. As a person of color, as a woman of color, there are so many challenges that we face. But I'm listening to you talk about this milestone, because that was a feat. That was definitely a feat that you were able to accomplish. And then what I did not share with you, family, is that Jude interned with the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. So you were sharing that you partnered with them, but I did not share with our family members that you were interning there as well. So here you are, interning, working, and you said, you know what? I need to make some changes. I need to do some things, and I need help doing it. And to know that it came to fruition. And like I said, I mean, the biggest thing for me is just my imagination of how it was received and the perception of it all, and just the joy. Like I said, I can only imagine there were so many emotions that took place on that day. Just, I mean, just so much, just so much, so much. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it's so beautiful. So I'm curious to know, as you know, I have so many questions. How has your role as the Pennsylvania Senate's only Arab staffer influenced your approach to community mobilization and state advocacy?
I think it brings a unique perspective. I've said this before. I feel like there needs to be more voices of whether it's Arab, whether it's Latinx, whether it's API. I feel like that influences my decision making by just ensuring that we're inclusive in any process that I'm a part of, and to ensure that there's people of color on the table when decisions are being made, and also understanding the root causes of advocacy and why it's needed and why it's so important. And as the only Arab staffer, it's ensuring not only that the Arab voice is represented, but I grew up in North Philadelphia. And so that North Philadelphia voice that grew up in very urban setting, that went through the Philadelphia public school system, stayed in Philly for college, understood what community organizing truly meant, right? And even going back to the Palestine Solidarity Day, sometimes, it's people can get a little weary when you say you're Palestinian, or that you're Arab, or that you identify as Muslim. And why is that? Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about why this advocacy is so necessary, and being open to having those tough conversations. And as the only Arab staffer, that's a responsibility, just as it is if I wasn't Arab, if I was a woman, if I'm just an immigrant, it's a responsibility. And so it's just very critical. And those are the few ways that influences my work and my decision making in general.
I have to tell you, as I'm listening to you say that, and you keep hearing me say this every time you say something, but as I listen to you say that, just the magnitude of the statement itself, just the magnitude of that, when you're talking about your role as the Pennsylvania Senate's only Arab staffer, that is a huge responsibility. That's a huge role. That's a huge responsibility. And you talk about representation. We always say representation matters. We say that, no matter who you are, it means so much to see someone look like you, to see someone with whom you can identify. And I don't know if you were listening to the conversation I was having with Dr. Gooden, but she was just talking about therapists and talking about representation, because there's a certain nuance. There's a certain, a connection that's innate. Yeah, so it just like I said, the magnitude of the statement alone, it just feels like, oh, wow, that's a wonderful thing. So I want to shift the conversation. I'm looking at the time, and I don't want to talk too much into the commercial, because I definitely want you to have enough time to talk about everything. Like I said, I know I'm trying to fit everything into this little bit of time, but I do want to ask you about your TEDx talk. Would you share with us share with us about that experience, number one? Well, how about that? We'll start there, because that I want to hear all about that.
So my TEDx talk, the topic was visionary versus realist, and it describes the flow of my life and my alien moments and what alien moments mean to me. And so visionary, I'm a huge visionary. I think we should be super creative and imagine the world and imagine the sky and the galaxy and really aim for that. But then the realist in me kicks in and says, okay, what's the game plan? What's the strategy to actually make it happen, right? Because we have such fantastic visionaries in this world and in different spaces. But how can we take these extraordinary visions that take ordinary time to accomplish? And so my TEDx talk really goes through that and those alien moments in my life that I continue to have that really set me apart in terms of what grounds me in my community organizing, what really is it, flight or fight, or is this my fight that I pick up? And so those moments that come to the realization that, this is something I have to advocate for. I have an Arab community that's looking at me to really represent them. I have a Palestinian community that truly needs me to represent them now more than ever. I have a Muslim community that I cherish dearly that look at me to represent them in some spaces. And so that really, that talk goes through all of my different alien moments and what it truly takes to be a visionary and a realist at the same dang time. And such great work takes ordinary time. And I think we want to skip the process. And if we don't see immediate results, we kind of like, okay, we tried, it didn't work, right? But persistence is key, right? And it's super easy to say, right? Because once you're getting beat down, you're just like, oh no, like it's over for me. But we can't let that, because I think, number one, opposition always banks on that, right? When we're in this advocacy, they're waiting to beat you down, right? Whoever that may be in whatever sector anyone is in. But I think perseverance is very critical, and really eliminating that short-term satisfaction and aiming for that, long-term gratification is truly critical. And so my TEDx talk is kind of a combination of being super visionary, but also being a realist. And I'm usually like the buzzkill, right? I'm like, okay, that's a great idea, but how are we going to get it done? Like, honestly, can we just get to the chase? And so that is really the main point of my TEDx talk.
You said the buzzkill. No, you're the realist. We need that. We definitely need that. We can't be a room full of
you.
We need that balance. We need that's the balance of it all. Family, listen. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I do want to thank you all because I did not take a moment to thank you all. We were just experiencing some technical difficulties. And you did hear me say that the devil has been trying to get into the details. Okay. And he was trying desperately. He was trying so hard. He was like a gnat at a cookout. Do you hear me? But guess what? He's been rebuked. How about that? And I do want to acknowledge our family members who are checking in on our socials. Malcolm shares, yes, the devil has been showing all day, okay, with a sigh. Listen, all of what you said, Malcolm, okay, all of what you typed there, I'm saying with my spirit, okay. And Brother Nasir said, Brother Nick is going to work it out. And yes, he did. Yes, he did. Thank you so much, Nick, for that. Brother Ron is showing up. Ronald Gillespie. Hi there, Ron. He shares that he's my number one fan in New York City and in Philly. Well, I love you back. You hear me? I love you. And Nia Imani, Dr. Bailey is joining us. Let me tell you, yes, had it not been for you, okay? Had it not been for you. So thank you, Dr. Bailey. And always much love to you. As you know, that's my boop right there. She shares representation matters. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And she also shares, yes, Jude, let's talk about it. Very wise beyond your years. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes. Family, we are talking to Jude Hussein. And as I was sharing earlier, I just think that she's such an interesting human being. And I wanted you to meet her and to participate in the conversation that we are having with her. But it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. But don't fret. We will be back. The phone lines remain open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials because we won't be long. We're coming right back.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick. Do you see what I'm talking about? You see how all kinds of things are over here happening? Do you see what I'm talking about? All I can do is laugh at tonight. I'm telling you, just laugh at tonight.
I'm laughing with you, Carol.
Jude, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So here we are. We are talking with Jude Hussein, and we are talking about life. Yes, we are. We are talking with her, and she is sharing with us so much, just so much, so much, so much. Miss Julie has shared information. Look at that. I can always count on Miss Julie. She shares some information about Jude Hussein, chairwoman of jobs and economics with the Mayor's Philadelphia Youth Commission. And she shares a link as well. I love it. I love it. Former UN youth delegate, Jude Hussein. I tell you, you see that?
That's someone who knows their stuff. That's
Miss
great research.
Miss
Dang.
Julie is on it. And our brother Henry Purifoy is joining us. Hi there, Henry. He's sending a good evening. He shares that with us, and we receive it. Yes, we do. So, Jude, I want to know, because I know you've done a lot with and for our youth, advocating with and for our youth. Can you share with us some of your experiences working with youth nonprofits and like how these roles have contributed to your current position in the state Senate?
Absolutely. So, I was a work ready student when I was in high school. And so that is spearheaded by the Philadelphia Youth Network. And so I got a paid internship at the district attorney's office, as you mentioned earlier, Carol. And that's when I realized that young people truly need to be in these spaces, that I was one of one in this office. And I was about, I think, 16 or 17 at that time. I think I was 16. And I was just very fortunate enough to just start organizing then and there when I realized that there was a lack of youth voice. And so as I transitioned into more of a professional career, I then worked for the Philadelphia Youth Network for about 5 years in a variety of different positions as it relates to ensuring that young people had opportunities, paid opportunities that really put them in spaces where they can flourish and thrive. And that looked like programming, communication, implementation, just so many different avenues as it relates to youth programs. And so I really spent some time creating a curriculum as it relates to professionalism to go around the city and really chat with young people about, what does professionalism mean to you? If I wear kicks and if I wear kicks and like a suit, does that make me unprofessional? Or does maybe a look with heels work? And so how to carry yourself in different capacities. And when you just speak to young people, you learn so much. And through some of those experiences and going around and really advocating for youth voice in some of these rooms where decisions are being made on behalf of young people was really the bulk of my experience. And so I then consulted across the city of Philadelphia for some nonprofits as it relates to if you are implementing youth programs, there should be youth voice. I mean, it shouldn't even be a conversation at that point. And so how can you create youth programming without a young person in the room? And that shouldn't be kind of a second thought, but it is. And so really advocating for that, really pushing for that as I looked at different programs that ran across the city. And then as it relates to my current role, I mean, youth voice is super powerful. And so I'm organizing a Youth Power Summit with probably the greatest team on the face of the planet. Shout out to Senator Haywood's team, and really trying to amplify youth voice and change the perception of events just being like young people getting in an auditorium being spoken at and not really interactive. And so I always try to keep in perspective any decisions being made on behalf of young people.
I do want to share. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. I do want to share. My cousin actually has a question. Sherry Riddick. She's asking, just curious, what is the population of the Palestinian community in Philadelphia?
Absolutely. So I have estimated numbers, but there is a little over 55,000 Arabs in the city of Philadelphia, and it's calculated that there's 30,000 Palestinians in the city of Philadelphia.
Wow. Wow. I do want to share another comment. Dr. Bailey shares, Jude. Can you tell us what it means to be a Palestinian woman? What does the world need to understand? Enlighten us. Please dispel all myths and highlight the truths.
Absolutely. So what does it mean to be a Palestinian woman? It means I'm constantly fighting, y'all. I'm just fighting all the time in every room I walk into and really trying to fight to just compete. And so that's what a Palestinian woman means to me, but it also means resilience. It means power. It means culture. It means hospitality. It means caring for others. It means bringing people and really holding them and lifting them up. And so that's what a Palestinian woman truly embodies. And what is the myths? Dr. Bailey, there is so much, right? I think it's really important to know history and context of the Palestinian people and what has gone on for over 70 years of a brutal military occupation. And what does that look like on the ground? Basic human rights are constantly thrown to the side. I mean, that does not exist. If we look at several human rights organizations globally that are respected, well-renowned organizations, you will see, I can reference the Amnesty report that came out as it relates to Palestine, that there is an occupation that has been happening. There has been a fight every single day on the ground where Palestinians are truly monitored day in and day out, how far they can go, how far they can travel. There are 500 checkpoints in the West Bank, 500, and you must carry identification all the time. And when I go back home to see my grandmother, who is 109, I love my city very much. She is the most wonderful person on the face of the planet, even as an American citizen, right? It's still tough, right? I'm detained on the border for about 10 hours, interrogated by 4 or 5 different people, and asked, what brings me here. So these are the really harsh, brutal realities of the Palestinian people. But I want to make something really clear, Carol, for your audience too, is that the Palestinian people are filled with so much love and culture, right? And just seek that freedom and seek that ability to soar and prosper as individuals. The way that we are able, and globally people are able to move and operate and go to the mall whenever they want, and not stopped every 2 miles and turn back or waiting on a checkpoint for 10 hours, missing dinner and family time. And so Palestinians are just super resilient, and we've been enduring such a brutal occupation for over 70 years. But that has not stopped us from living, right? And becoming academics and becoming scholars and becoming poets and intellectuals. And so that is still very real, right? We're here, we're alive, and I'm an example. This is me. And so that is some of my truth.
My goodness, I am digesting. First of all, I'm processing everything that you're sharing and digesting at the same time. And it's so much. I just can't thank you enough. I do want to share that Kyle Darby Sr., hello there for checking in. Thank you. I should say hello and thank you for checking in. But he shares Jude is one of, if not the smartest staffers in the Senate, and is a true leader in our city, a strong Palestinian woman, and iconic Philadelphian. I happen to agree with you. Malcolm shares, wow. In all, and well, Malcolm is yelling that. If he's writing that in all caps, then he is yelling that. I just I can't thank you enough for coming to spend some time with us. Thank you for your transparency,
Thank you
for
for having
spending
me.
your time and your attention, your knowledge. I do hope that you will come back to visit with us again sometime. You
Absolutely,
really?
Carol, invite me and I'm here.
No, really, she
Absolutely.
means that. She means
I
that,
do.
family. When I tell you she means that, when I tell
Don't you
you,
forget it.
no, and I won't. Oh, I trust me, trust you. I won't. We were having such a day. There's so much, as you know, so much has been going on technically. And Dr. Bailey said hi. I said, I'm in the midst of total chaos.
Dr. Bailey
And
is one of the most fantastic people. So true, big shout out to her.
yes, she is. Isn't she? She's a phenomenal human being as well.
Fantastic, extraordinary.
As
Mhm.
well. And
Thank you so
Malcolm
much
is
for
still
having me, Carol.
processing. No, thank you. He's still processing 10 hours at a checkpoint. As am
Real life.
I. No,
Real
as
life.
am I. I cannot imagine. And being detained for hours at a time when you're coming back, and I just cannot. Like I said, I am digesting and processing all of what you shared, and you just don't know. We know what we go through as individuals, but you just don't know what another human being is dealing with or what they're facing. And I thank you for shedding light and for sharing with us. Thank
Thank you
you
so much for having
again,
me, Carol.
and we
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see you the next time.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me. Till next time. Thank you,
Till
everyone.
next time. Thank you. Family, OMG. Oh, y'all. It's a huge breath that I need to take, okay? I should ask you to exhale with me. Inhale and exhale with me. Just family, praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Do you hear me? Praise God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, God, so much. I was sharing with you that today was action packed, and it was. It was definitely action packed, but God, how about that? But God, with an ellipsis. That's all you need. That's all you need. Family, thank you. Thank you so much as you continue to support love and life, as you share love with me and Nick and everybody else of the Word family. Hi, Miss Joanne. I see you. I see that you've joined us. Hi, Miss Rose. See that you've joined us as well. Just to all of our guests for sharing time, energy, space, knowledge, attention, and spirit Dr. Io Gooden and Jude Hussein. Just thank you so much. To the entire WURD family, especially Niall Jax and Nick Steptoe, for all that you do. God knows I love you both. Family, remember, we are all in this together. You hear me? So be good to you, but be good to those around you. I love you so much, but just know that God loves you so much more. Family, you have a great rest of your night, and be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD. God bless you. I love you, and good night.